athletic, bold, commanding. Equinox EV helps you show up in style, though looking good on the course is still going to be up to you if it's distance you're after. Equinox EV offers 319 miles of EPA estimated electric range with front wheel drive. And we're about to drive right into a great show here, gents. We've got myself, Frankie. We got Trent. We've got quite a bit. We got a lot of caddy talk to get to. We've got the 18th hole of the women's major championship, the Chevron last weekend, just delivering all kinds of takes, all kinds of drama, crazy drama. We talked a little bit about Wesley Bryan being suspended for the PGA Tour. So yeah, we got a nice show here.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama right now in like the YouTube golf space. It seems like with the Grant Horvats, the Wesley Bryans, PGA Tour taking people out, suspending people. So we do get to all that, which I feel like not many people talk about on podcasts in our world, which is nice to kind of get that voice out there and our takes out there. So hopefully that's well received, specifically by the Bryan Bros when they hear what we have to say. And yeah, no, it's just it's a great week to celebrate golf, life, Chevy. You know, this is just, we're about to go into the weekend. Once you're listening to this, it's Thursday. You're almost there. Go get yourself a Chevy. Go to a showroom. Get inside a Chevy. That's what's really going to sell you on it. Getting inside there, seeing that 17.7 inch diagonal touchscreen display, seeing all the capabilities that electric vehicle can do for you. For me, it's a no-brainer.
Leave the driving to Equinox EV and show up to the course energized with available Super Cruise hands-free driver assistance technology. Equinox EV has a massive 17-inch diagonal center screen, the largest of any EV in its class. When it comes to EVs, Equinox EV is the smart choice you can make. Every segment should be me and Trent just make our arguments, and we see where Frankie ends up at the end of the whole thing. Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We got the whole squad back together, myself, Frankie, and Trent. Gentlemen, how we doing? How was everyone? Everybody all right?
Doing
fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic.
Excited to be here.
I like it. We've got some PGA Championship merch upon us. So if you're, looking to get hyped up for the next major of the year, golf's in a great spot. People are excited. Rory McIlroy is going really for the annual Grand Slam at this point. He's the only one eligible. He's had a lot of success at Quail Hollow, Charlotte. Great spot. Great city, great town, cool logo. Store.barstoolsports.com. We got our own, PGA Championship, major championship merchandise ready to rock.
Yeah, this hat that I'm wearing, the hat that Riggs is wearing, I think it might be the best hat we've ever made. I love this thing. It's a great style. Good. The colors are incredible. The front is incredible. Like, yeah, when I got it in the mail, I was like, this is an amazing item that we've made. All of the stuff is great. Riggs has got the hoodie on. Frankie's got the other hat on. There's just it's great stuff. So yeah, go check it out. Another major. It's still crazy to me, and I know we're like year 4 of this or whatever, but partnering and collabing with major championships is a big deal. And it's just very cool that we get to do it. So shout out to everybody who's already bought stuff. And if you haven't, store.barstoolsports.com, go check it out.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people saying, oh, it's going to be really hot in Charlotte. Why are you selling hoodies? And it's like, there's nothing better than wearing tournament merchandise that looks really cool during the fall and winter. Something that you can basically, it's a conversation piece for me. Like, I love being able to wear stuff from the 2021 PGA Championship or, the 2017 Masters or whatever it might be. Like, there's certain things that like you wear it out, right? And you're like, this one is an event that I actually went to or cared about or whatever. To me, it doesn't have to be that week that you went to it where it's really hot in Charlotte.
Yeah, no, I would say we're not making the clothing for the specific 7-day window of the tournament.
Correct.
You know what I mean? You can wear this
Correct.
whenever you want. It's up to you. You can wear it, like Frankie's saying, years from now you can wear this stuff. You're not buying it for this very small window of like, what's the weather going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina from this date to this date? Oh, it's going to be too hot for a hoodie. Well, then I'm standing up from the table and I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I would say when people go to the Masters tournament and they buy all that merchandise and then they ship it back home, it's not just to wear it in whatever weather
Correct.
is in Augusta, Georgia that week
That's
of
right.
April. It's like you're wearing it forever. And it's kind of the same. And I think we've got one hoodie in the assortment.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean,
it just happens to be like the best hoodie that we've actually made.
Unbelievable.
Usually we throw our stuff on other brand stuff, like whether it be like a Roback or like another type of hoodie. This one we're actually stitching ourselves. Like this is foreplay merchandise.
I did it. Me, Frankie, and Riggs. We went. I got a needle and a thread, and I've been stitching these things. My fingers hurt, as the lady in Happy Gilmore says. My fingers are killing me from stitching this stuff.
Tariffs.
What does he say after that?
Now your back's
going to hurt because you just
pulled
landscaping duty.
It's
but yeah, it's great stuff.
That guy.
It's
insane that guy wrote Severance.
Did he write it or did he direct it?
He directs it, but I'm pretty sure he's part of the writing and the producing. No,
I'm sure he's somewhat involved in that. I get confused. I know he's very, very involved, and he's certainly the figurehead of creativity. Like when people ask questions about Severance, but I don't know the nuts and bolts of like, did he write it? Who wrote it? I know he's a director, but I don't want to take any credit.
I saw one meme that said, "You may be still, but I," and then it was a picture of Ben Stiller.
Nice. He's all over the place. He's heavily involved in this New York Knicks team that he's always tweeting about, and he's at all the games. So I didn't know, like 20 years after, that whole crew of Stiller and Vaughn and like those guys had their run. I didn't know how much Ben Stiller was still going to be in my life in 2025, and I'm happy about it. I fucking love Ben Stiller.
What's the last funny movie you've seen?
Funny movie.
They don't make funny movies anymore.
No, I know they don't. I know this is like, yeah, I mean, there was the Apatow era, then there was the one before that with like Adam Sandler and that whole crew, and then there was the Seth Rogen crew who made a bunch of stuff. But I think they've talked about it where mega studios now don't see the money in like just a raunchy comedy. It's more Marvel and reboots and that shit. Like there seems to be no money in the really, really, really funny movie game. It's a real shame because I'm with you. Like we all grew up watching like Superbad and Anchorman, and then Apatow had 40-Year-Old Virgin and that whole run. Like those movies were incredible, and it just doesn't seem like studios are willing to make those movies anymore. Now, the devil's advocate would be like, there's so many streaming services now that have so much money. Can't somebody lop off like 0.002% of their budget, give it to somebody who's actually really funny and let them make a funny movie? I don't know what the logistics behind that are, but I get your point. There's not that the funny movies don't really exist anymore.
No, it doesn't feel like they do at all. I would say the last, and again, I don't really go to the movies very often, but the last, like, and maybe the funniest movie I ever remember like laughing the most at in theaters was Wedding Crashers. I remember all going with like my buddies. We all went. We sat really close up to the front.
Speed or comfort?
So packed. And we were at that age where that humor, we just laughed our dicks off for the entire movie. And I don't know that I've done that ever since. I probably have.
Frankie, what's the last funny movie you saw?
I don't know. I mean,
there's got to be one that we're missing. Alex
This
Bush,
Is the End.
This is the End was a great one.
And I don't even know how long ago that was, because that had all like the Michael Cera and Jonah Hill. I mean, there's certain like dramas that are still considered funny. Like I still consider Wolf of Wall Street a funny movie. Like it's humorous. It makes me laugh throughout the whole entire thing. But yeah, no, it's all shows now. Like I'm watching that studio show, and I know that Dave said it's one of the worst shows ever made, and whoever gave him that recommendation will be thought about for a long time. I think it was Robbie Fox and maybe even Clem, or maybe
I think
Eddie.
It was because I was at that wedding this weekend. I believe it was Robbie Fox and Jeff D'Lo.
Oh, Jeff D'Lo. Okay.
I want to ask you about that wedding too.
I like the studio. I think it's very funny. I think the people in it are hilarious. I think it's like Seth Rogen's finally not just like a stoner that's like playing the same character. He's like the head of a studio. To me, it's like a very interesting, funny show. That one's been making me laugh a lot. But that's my point. It's like it's all shows now. It's not really built into these movies. I know this movie Sinners is getting a lot of pub, but that's like a horror drama. And yeah, like you got the Adam Sandlers that get the green light from Netflix and stuff. Like he's been putting out a lot of like Hubie Halloween and all of his like Adam Sandler type movies where like he's stuck on a boat and it's like The Retreat or whatever it's called. Like those just aren't hitting. I don't think they're, Grown Ups was one that hit for me. Like I think Grown Ups is a very funny movie. Grown Ups 2 is even funny, but like Adam Sandler's just been kind of swinging and missing on his comedies. He's actually more winning on his serious ones, like Uncut Gems and the other one that just came out. So it made me think, even like with Happy Gilmore coming out, like I just really don't have the high hopes because like these comedies don't really hit anymore. And it's like, I don't know. Did I talk about that on this show where like people say it's actually scientifically proven that when you use like the new cameras, it's just not as funny.
No.
Like there's something a bit psychologically about using that like old school like film that's not so HD that makes you feel like you could actually laugh. But when it's like this HD 4K footage and all these new like camera angles and editing styles, it just doesn't feel like funny anymore.
No, you didn't talk about that on this show. And I think it's particularly hard for guys like us who came from that era where the movies, we lived during the time when there was just a huge jump in visual quality. And yeah, I mean, obviously we get nostalgic, and I don't know if that's part of it about like, I mean, I grew up, I love Tommy Boy, I love Happy Gilmore. All those movies from the 90s were like the foundation of my life for a long time. And seeing it go from whatever, film or whatever it is to what it is now, it feels different. And I wonder if like once we all age out and pass away and they bury us in the ground, when it's only people who are around who are used to really high definition visuals, are you able to kind of make those movies funny again? I don't know, but it's an interesting point.
I think Happy Gilmore will be not as funny just based off of how it looks.
I agree with you,
clean.
But it's really clean.
It's too clean. It's like, it's not like, if I was the head of that studio, I would say we're doing it with all the same exact equipment that we did Happy Gilmore 1 with. So it feels the same. It's got that like very charming, not so serious feel to it. There's something about it being ultra 4K. You could see how old they are. It's just something about it that's like, feels like a commercial.
Yeah,
it feels very commercialized. Everything's so colorful and round and like and sharp. It used to be like round and cute and just like fuzzy, and like they were out on the golf course and it was just, that's what it was. Now it's you can see every blade of grass. There's something like off-putting about it. It's like Black Mirror. It's like they show you too much.
I agree.
I don't know how I got on that. I've been watching a lot of TV because I've just been like hunkered home waiting for this baby. Today's a due date, which is fucking crazy. We finally made it, but no baby yet.
No baby. Made it to the due date. What else have you been watching? Anything good?
I watched a lot of Black Mirror, actually, which always gets my mind going because Black Mirror just shows you where the world is going. They do this a lot. They think that this is the future. They think you're going to have a little piece of technology right on your temple, and that's going to unlock a lot of things. It's going to bring you into different dimensions. Every episode, whatever the thing is in Black Mirror, they're always putting a little circle that lights up right on the temple, and then your eyes kind of go to the back of your head, and you enter a new realm. There's been a couple of good episodes, couple of duds, but a couple ones that make you think, where you're like, I could totally see that happening in the future. Like this one where there was brain damage. She was in a coma, and they basically like 3D imaged the part of her brain that would need to be repaired, and in order to turn it on, there was like a subscription. So like there's this company, it's almost like Meta, where it's like you can turn your wife's brain back on, but it's $500 a month, and the whole episode's about like trying to get the money to like pay to keep her, and then like she couldn't leave town because like it's only in this area that it works. But if you want to upgrade to Premium Plus, you can leave the town, but that's gonna be $1,500 a month. And then the regular package had ads on it, so she starts talking like at work about like ads to like the children and stuff. She's a teacher, and like they have to get her off that one. So now like the husband's doing crazy shit just to keep her wife alive, and years go by and he like resents her. It's like, holy shit. But I could totally see that happening where like things start to become, I mean, everything's subscription based, so like why wouldn't health be subscription based at some point? And like they want to fuck you over at some point, right? Everything's about profit. So yeah, that one really made me think. And that's just one episode out of, there's like 8 of them that all make you kind of think like, holy shit.
Yeah, I can't watch Black Mirror. I can't. I tried it a very long time ago when it maybe first or second season came out. And don't get me wrong, they're probably right, like you're saying with a lot of this stuff, but I almost don't need to peek that far into the future. Like it was bumming me out big time. And the people who make the show are incredible, but I was just like, you know what? There's a lot of stuff that I have the option to watch, and I'm just not going to watch Black Mirror because it bums me the fuck out. So that sounds like an episode that would bum me out for sure.
Sad. It's just a sad episode.
Yeah. Real sad.
Next episode of our travel series down to McLemore, I believe is out It's the skins game, the skins match that we did at the Highlands course. And I got to tell you, it was one of the most unexpectedly riveting matches we've ever done. We did 2v2v2. We ran back the same teams from the last match. Everybody kind of wanted another shot at the crown, another shot at Jerry and Frankie. And we decided right before we teed off to do a little skins game amongst all the teams with carryovers. So really, you just need to win one hole at some point where your team makes a lower score than any other team makes. And if you could pull that off, you lock in a bunch of cash. And we just went toe to toe to toe with every team on this absolutely sick golf course for like 4 hours. And it turned into honestly one of the more electric, I guess I would say, videos with huge moments to keep the skins going that we just did not anticipate at all.
Yeah, I hope it translates over video just how intense it was and how big it felt to us, because that sometimes is lost in the edit where it's like this standing over every single putt felt like the Masters to us because we just didn't want to hand the other person whatever it was, $380 or whatever. Like, we were playing for money. You don't want to lose to your friends out on a golf trip.
No.
It felt like everything. And the 2-tie all tie is like the greatest kind of wrinkle in golf matches when you have 3 groups or 3 players. To me, like, that is such a good format because you could be out of it and like your allegiance or whatever you're rooting for changes from hole to hole. You know, we could have been rooting for Francis to make a putt to tie Riggs, and then the next hole we're rooting for Riggs to make a putt against Francis. Like, there's so many different times that you're rooting on people that you really, your head is kind of spinning for 4 hours. It's such a great video. I think so many people are going to feel like they want to go out and go play a skins match right after watching it. Like, you want to just grab 2 buddies, go play with 3 guys. It's such a good video. I love the format.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It turned out phenomenally.
And the Highlands course is incredible. Like, I know that McLemore has been getting a lot of views, right? The first episode at the Keep. And there's been, I guess, like, warranted comments about the golf course and how it wasn't ready yet, which we knew. Like, when we filmed it, we're like, this course is not ready yet. It's kind of crazy that we're here, but we understand that they want to show like what the place is all about and like what it's going to look like. And like, I get, like, watching it, you see sod everywhere. You're like, this place looks insane. Like, why would they do that? It's going to get to the point where it's beautiful, luscious green grass. The place is just built this year. It's still in preview mode. But the Highlands course has been there forever, and it's got the greatest closing hole. I think it was like Golf Digest that said at one point it was like the number 1 closing hole in all of golf. They had it ranked above Pebble Beach. They had it ranked above so many fucking golf courses. This Highlands 18th hole on the cliffs. So yeah, no, it's a really, really cool video. I think a lot of people from the Georgia area have played this course for many, many years. So I think this is going to be an exciting one for people to see, and it's in great condition. And yeah, just I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, the visuals are going to be fantastic, and yeah, the skins game was about as good as it could possibly get. So that's out now. So check that out everywhere you get your videos, YouTube if you're a YouTuber, and scope it out. All right, we got some golf to talk about. Joe Greiner. Joe Greiner's been making a lot of headway, headlines in the last 3 or 4 weeks since the Masters tournament. He, of course, caddied for childhood friend Max Homa for a long time. The two of them best buddies, professional partners. They won 6 times out there on tour, going to Ryder Cups, going to President's Cups, the whole deal. Then it was revealed during the Masters. Max revealed that Joe Greiner had actually kind of broke it off with Max. Then he jumped on JT's bag. JT wins at the RBC Heritage. So I believe he caddied for him at the Masters and the RBC. JT wins the RBC, so everybody's thinking like, oh, he just has a full-time bag now. JT and him were pretty clear, I guess, that like, no, JT's got his own full-time caddy. And then it was just announced a couple days ago, or yesterday, I guess, that Collin Morikawa has now hired Joe Greiner. Morikawa has parted ways with longtime caddy. Actually, this guy, JJ Jakovic, was Collin's caddy since he turned pro in 2019. They have parted ways, and Morikawa, who's the number 4 ranked player in the world, 2-time major championship winner, has now hired Joe Greiner full time to be his caddy.
Yeah, that was surprising. I really, really thought that Joe Greiner was going to stay with with Justin Thomas. I thought that they kind of caught that lightning in the bottle that you kind of want with a caddy player combo. They were hugging, embracing after the RBC Heritage win. This is a good guy move from Justin Thomas. He's not Wally Pippen, his caddy. His caddy got hurt. Something happened, sick. I don't know what it was, some sort of injury, and had to miss the Masters, had to miss RBC. And he's doing right by him. He's, the guy must be healthy, and he's coming back, and he's like, this is my caddy, and this is who I'm going to run with. And, Joe Greiner just kind of filled in, but like, I'm not just going to get rid of a guy on my team right now just because he got hurt. Which I like. And I don't know if that's exactly how they came to that conclusion. I don't know if Joe went with Collin and there was conversation between Justin Thomas and him or whatever, but good for Collin. Obviously, he doesn't reach his potential each year. He's a number 4 ranked golfer in the world, but he doesn't win as much as he should because he's such a good player. He's always leading in approach, strokes gained on approach.
Yep, pretty much.
His iron game is unmatched. The fact that he's able to just flag these things from everywhere shows that he should win more than he does. He's obviously a money machine. The guy's a walking ATM, being the number 4 ranked golfer and not winning as much as he does just goes to show he's right there on knocking on the door. But I think this change will be good for Collin. Obviously, Joe Greiner's an elite caddy, right? He's very highly sought out. So yeah, I think it's a good move for Collin. I want to see him win more. I want to see him win majors. I want to see him win more tournaments. I want him just I want a happy Collin Morikawa out there.
I love Collin Morikawa. I'm with you. To that point, I just looked it up. This year already, Collin Morikawa has 2 solo second place finishes. And then last year, 2024, he had a T5, a T3, a 4th, a 2nd, a tied for 4th, a 2nd. It's crazy.
All about confidence too. This game, we talk about it in your own game, your own mentals. You have all Dr. Brett McCabe type people in your team, but that caddy player combo is all about gaining confidence. You're out there with just one guy. It's such a hard sport. You got to play 4 straight days against the golf course. No matter what you do, you can't affect anyone that's playing around you. So that's so mentally taxing. Having someone on your bag that's on your team that's really talking through every single shot is so important. We just glance over caddies sometimes as golf viewers. They are so unbelievably important out there for these guys. It's the only person the player has to fall on for anything, any sort of question, any sort of doubts, any sort of confidence booster. That is that guy. So if Joe Greiner just has the gift of God of being able to talk to these golfers better than other people, that's a great move, a great pickup for Collin Morikawa. These guys make a difference. Ted Scott made a difference for Scottie Scheffler. That to me is a huge asset to have a great caddy.
I was just looking. Ted Scott joined Scottie in late 2021. Scottie hadn't won a tournament yet. He hadn't won anything yet. And then ever since then, he goes on to become the number 1 player in the world, has won a bunch of times, won multiple Masters. I think back to Steve Williams with Adam Scott. Adam Scott had won a Players' Championship, but had never won a major championship, had been really close, had come up short at the British Open when he bogeyed the last 4 holes. And then I don't know if Steve Williams was on his bag for that one or not, but point is, once Steve Williams joined his bag, who is one of the winningest, maybe the winningest caddy in the history of golf, all of a sudden Adam Scott wins the Masters with Steve Williams literally reading the putt for him in the dark on the 10th hole in the playoff, where he was telling that story recently. I heard him talking, but he's like, I remembered this putt from a couple of years ago, and I remember that we read it way too close to the hole. It breaks a lot more than that. So Adam was like, I can't really see that great. I think it's like a ball. And Steve Williams was like, no, it's like 2 cups. Trust me. And Adam Scott was like, okay. And sure enough, he made it and won that playoff. So I think you're right, man. Caddies, it's very, very hard to sit here and give a ton of credit, or probably for them to get the right amount of credit when it's they're not hitting a shot. But I think having the right caddy makes a huge difference out there.
Yeah, I mean, getting coaches is a big deal in other sports, and they don't actually take the shot. Like, they come up with the plays, they come up with the strategy. They instill this confidence in the players, and that goes a long way. These guys have everything it takes to win. They need that. They need whatever it is to get them over the edge. And if that's a caddy, then that's what they need. And to me, yeah, they don't get enough shine. I think even on this show, we sometimes debate like how important they actually are. And I think as the years go on and as we've kind of seen and gotten peeks behind the curtain and what these guys actually do, we've gotten to meet the Joe LaCavas and Joe LaCava Juniors and the Deweys and all these guys that we're like become really tight with. You realize just how much they do. Like, we think golfers have nonstop schedules. These caddies are there before the golfers show up. They got everything ready in the lockers. They got their bags ready to go, cleaned up, million balls ready for them, tees, markers, everything that you could possibly need to go out there. They're carrying the goddamn thing for all the days that we think that the golfers are exhausted doing, right? It's like, it's fucking nuts. It's nonstop. And like I said, getting a good one for Collin is big. And hopefully Max is in a good mental state watching his guy just kind of get passed around the PGA Tour right now. It's like an ex-girlfriend, like going on she's dating every single guy in the high school now.
Well, I got to imagine with this one, because Collin and Max are pretty damn close as California guys, that there's no way this wouldn't have been a conversation from
had to be
Collin to Max being like, hey, what do you think? Trent's really battling with his stuff still.
It's tough. It's hasn't been figured out, and I don't know if it's You
there, Trent Daddy?
I think so. My internet now is fucked. Like, you guys sound like the Transformers for the last 20 minutes. It's driving me crazy. I thought I was going to be able to power through it, and then it was just I was talking to robots for 20 minutes, and I don't know if it's back right now or not. Listen, I don't want to be the guy who always has technical problems. I know that's annoying to you guys and to the listeners. They don't give a fuck. But I've just kind of gotten the ball here where I can't seem to perfect this podcast thing after 9 years. It's been, I just really haven't picked up on what to do yet. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know. I wish I had an answer.
No, I'm, we're rooting for you. We're rooting for you to have the answer. Do we sound better? Do we look better? No, not really.
Not at all.
It's unfortunate.
Optimus Prime. There he goes.
But yeah, I imagine that was a conversation that was had, because I don't think Morikawa was just going to snag Joe Greiner without, Max's permission and the whole thing. But yeah, it's funny. Like, it's the only person that you have with you during the tournament. The only one. It's not your wife that's out there. It's not your agent. It's not like your brother. Obviously, there's some circumstances where it's a brother or a wife, but like very, very, very rarely, it's your caddy. It is like a professional caddy that you've got inside the ropes with you. And it's a great point, Frankie, on like coaches. Like we the St. Louis Blues with Monty. It's like the Bruins got rid of him, hired Monty, and all of a sudden the Blues go from one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best. And now they're playing the President's Cup winners, and they're tied 2-2 going into Game 5. And it's like, so clearly everybody agrees that coaching matters. Why wouldn't like the coaching aspect of being a caddy in terms of saying the right things, right? Like getting your player in the right mindset, preparing everything properly so that your guy can execute, the player can actually execute. Like, why wouldn't all that stuff matter a lot? Of course it matters a lot. So having a great caddy is huge. I do think Joe Greiner was considered a very, very, very good caddy. He's a good player. He's a really good guy. And I think the rapport that he and Max had out there, I think appealed to a lot of guys. So I don't think it's any surprise that he ended up with JT and then ultimately with Collin Morikawa. I'm always interested how those things go down. If like Collin, wasn't 100% going to split with his caddy, but then saw that Greiner was available and was like, yep, done doing it. Like it's always interesting because that stuff's sort of like ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend type stuff.
Totally. He definitely called him. He's like, hey, me and Collin kind of like each other. I want to give this a shot. It's so ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend things. And, the devil's advocate people out there might say, well, like, why would, Joe Greiner might be good, but like Collin Morikawa, like they're not even close to as good as the pros. And like, again, you could just bring it back to the head coaching comparison. Like you got the guy, was it Chris Knobloch, the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers? Like obviously he's not better at hockey than Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl, but like there is that some guys are just born with a way to to calm people down, and like and some guys are just better teachers than players. So a guy like Greiner just knows certain things to say. There's certain things out there that they know. When I played with Dr. Brett McCabe, he's not a caddy, but he has that like way of thinking around a golf course where like I felt better about my game with just him sitting in the cart with me. I was able to talk through certain things with him. I felt confident in myself hitting wedge shots, and he changed like my golf life because I can't even imagine, just regardless of who the fuck it is. It could even be a guy that doesn't even know golf, just a guy that's able to talk well, that's able to get to you on a personal level. I mean, I think Ted Scott and Scottie like talk about sermons and God like out there. 100%. I don't know if they talk about golf that often, They talk about sports and Jesus. It's like that's just what he needed. He needed to see the Lord to get some victories, and God did he get some victories. So yeah.
Derby week is here. Gentlemen, suit up in your sharpest. Ladies, let those wide-brimmed hats turn heads. The race is on, but who will rise above the rest and be crowned king of the track? Find out on DK Horse, the #1 downloaded horse betting app. DraftKings is turning up the thrill with the King of the Track promotion. Here's how you get in. Head to the DK Horse app, opt in, bet $5 or more on a horse to win the Derby. If your pick crosses the finish line first, you'll win a share of a $1 million prize pool. It's that simple, fellas, and it's Derby time.
Yep, that's right.
I love the Derby. It's a fun day. You look at that list of what's that?
So it gets you going.
It really does. It's just it feels like it's low key has like a real feel. All the big sporting events have a feel. Super Bowl has a feel. All the big ones, but this one in particular, it's like, all right, I'm just going to pick a horse. I'm going to ride with that horse, and bang, let's see what happens. Really, really fun.
You got to literally have a horse in the race. That's just a fact. You got to have a horse in the race. This is the big one. It's the Derby. And DK Horse, the #1 downloaded horse betting app, is going to be the spot to do it. Who will reign supreme? Download the DK Horse Racing app. Use our code FORE, F-O-R-E. That's code FORE on DK Horse. Bet $5 or more on a horse to win the Derby for your shot at a piece of $1 million. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Sport Clips isn't just where you get a haircut. It's your playbook for looking fresh. Walk in, catch the game, sit back while the pros in men's hair handle the rest. And when you're done, walk out feeling like you're ready to take on anything. I go in there and get the MVP haircut experience. It's awesome. They give you the little shampoo. They kind of massage the top of your head. They give you like a warm towel for your face. They kind of give you just this primo experience while they've got the games on. And getting a haircut, as we've said before on this show, it's like you're a new man when you walk out of there.
I'm going there today. I'm going to go on the app right now. You can check in on the app, put yourself in line. You can see how long the wait is. That is the pro move at Sport Clips, where you don't want to get there and then you got to wait for a while. You find out how long the wait is. You check in, and then you start to head there when it's about to be your time. And I do the same thing, Riggs. I get the MVP treatment. They put the warm towel on your face. They do the whole thing. Getting a haircut, it just feels good. You feel better after. Go to Sport Clips. They're the best in the business.
They are the best in the business. They're the pros in men's hair. And if you want to track your real-time wait times, like Trent just mentioned, make sure you download the app and check in online. Sport Clips, the haircut experience dialed in for guys. It's a game changer.
Can you explain to me what DraftKings is seeing right now with these odds? I know we touched on them last week, but plus 280 Scottie Scheffler to win. And then the second favorite is plus 1,800 Jordan Spieth. Is that just because they have there's no way to know who else could win out of the field? Because it's kind of like a mumbled mess. Like there's really not big names. Obviously Jordan's out there and Siwoo Kim. Sungjae Im, Siwoo Kim, Sam Burns. There are good names, but like, how is there not a guy that's like plus 600, plus 800? Is it that much of a delta between Jordan Spieth and Scottie Scheffler right now?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Like how many tournaments do you think Scottie Scheffler and Jordan Spieth have played in together in the last 2 years that Jordan Spieth has finished higher than Scottie Scheffler?
0. It's got to be 0.
So I think that they're just like, it's a weak field, and a weak field going up against a guy like Scottie Scheffler. It's gonna, like, DraftKings is just telling you it would be a great shock to this earth if Scottie Scheffler didn't win this week. That's what DraftKings is telling you right now.
Plus 280 and then plus 1,800 is, I mean, not to give anything away. I don't know if we're going to talk picks later, but I'm going with someone from the field. I have to. Scottie Scheffler has not won this year yet. So, like, I have to go with someone from the field. The value in picking the fifth best player in the field is plus 3,000. You know what I mean? Like, come on. This is insane.
Problem is, then you just got, it's such a crapshoot on
That's what I was kind of alluding to.
That part is so hard. Scottie's also gone 8th, 4th, 2nd, 20th, 11th, 3rd, 25th, 9th. So, like,
right, 25th is his worst finish right now.
Yep. And mostly all top 10. So it's like, this guy's a problem.
He's
still
a problem.
I was just looking too. Joe Greiner and Collin Morikawa instantly become pretty much a top 3, I would say, player caddy duo in the world of golf. You've got Scottie and Ted Scott. You've got Rory and Harry Diamond. And then I would say, like, I guess maybe Xander and what's his Austin? I know the guy.
Actually, I had drinks with him. I just can't remember his
drinks
name.
with him at the when we were in Atlanta, I think it was.
Yeah. Great guy.
Really, really good dude. Austin Kaiser, that's his name.
Kaiser.
So I guess they're probably up there. And I'm not just trying to list the top players in the world, because I think, like, when I go to JT, like, even with all the stuff lately, I don't really know who JT's caddy is. I used to when it was Bones. You know, I've known different times, but I don't really know who JT's caddy is. Ludwig, like, I don't really know who Ludwig's caddy is. Do you?
No idea. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even know the name of Tiger Woods' caddy right now.
I know because he's pretty active on social, and I've DM'd with him and talked to him a little bit.
What's his name?
Lance Bennett.
Lance what?
Bennett.
That's right. Lance Bennett. The least Tiger Woods caddy name of all time. Lance Bennett is on the bag for Tiger Woods in the final stretches of his career. That's outrageous.
Very active on the gram. He comments on a bunch of golf posts and stuff. Yeah, a lot.
I gotta follow Lance Bennett.
He's a good little follow. He's great. He seems like a really, really good dude. I talk to him here and there, and he seems absolutely great. But yeah, he's got, kind of a mundane name, Lance Bennett.
He's got 900 followers. He's Tiger Woods' caddy. You know what I mean? Like, we just got done talking about how important these guys are. He is the greatest golfer of all time's caddy. I forgot his name, and he has no one knows who he is. It's insane.
I obviously know, we know Ludwig's caddy now is Joe Scovrin, but I'm trying to think who it was beforehand. Because Scov was with Ricky, he was with Tom Kim for a little bit. I'm trying to think who Ludwig's caddy was before. But like Hideki, I know it's been his longtime buddy, I believe, from Japan, but it's like with the language barrier and everything else, not like I know his caddy particularly well. Russell Henley, Victor Hovland, Maverick McNeely. I'm just going through like the top players in the world golf rankings. Like, I don't know that the player caddy combos are that up there. Tommy Fleetwood, we know his caddy, that tall, what is it? Ian? Is his caddy's name Ian?
Yeah, no, it's
guy that almost strangled.
Yeah, no,
Dan
they call
Rappaport.
him but they call him something. He like tried to kill Dan Rappaport, yeah. Yeah, it's Ian Finnis, but they call him something.
What is his nickname? Come on. Fino. Long-time nickname Fino. But anyways, point is, they already, I think Joe Greiner, Collin Morikawa, already kind of one of the more known, player caddy names out there already. So good luck to the two of them. Good luck to Joe Greiner, really good dude. And yeah, hopefully everybody's okay with the move, as you will.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to go down and try and pick out the best caddies, because the only people that are well known are the people whose guys have won. So there might be guys out there that are like ridiculously good caddies that are just on like a bad bag or whatever it might be. But that's just the way the world works. Like, they are known because they do win, which means that they are doing good caddying, which makes them go to the top. So it's obvious as to why we know those names, because they've been on big bags that have won big tournaments, and that's why we know them. But aside from that, there's definitely when these guys go on these searches, I mean, a Lance Bennett, right? Like, there's definitely these names out there that kind of stick out that no one knows. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from? And they probably just have this unbelievable golf mind that you wouldn't be able to believe, that they just are able to talk on another level. And you're like, all right, that's an interesting pick, but let's see how it works out. And then Tiger Woods comes back and wins a goddamn major, it's Lance Bennett.
It's funny too how much like the caddy recognition is determined by how much the player basically gets exposure on TV. Because like if they're showing a player a lot, you're just going to see the caddy a lot. You're going to hear him talk. You're going to hear him talk through shots, throwing grass up in the air, trying to determine the wind. And so, like with a lot of these top guys, like you see and hear Ted Scott all the time because obviously Scotty's in the mix all the time. So that definitely is a factor. But yeah, let's go, Joe. Let's go, Morikawa. Let's get him over that hump. Let's start getting some wins for Collin. Love to see some wins out there. Let's see. The Women's Chevron Major Championship from last weekend. I just want to talk about real quickly. Did you see this 18th hole that they got, situation that they had going on at this place?
Yeah, I mean, it was causing a lot of drama, is what I was seeing.
Drama. There was a flubbed chip. There was
the
a
flubbed
three
chip
putt.
Was crazy. The angle from the crowd was like mean because like we've all flubbed the chip like that, but that made it look. I feel like in most camera angles when you see a flubbed chip, you see like from kind of like face on. So like you see like the pass at it and you're like, all right, I can understand. It kind of got caught, but like that eagle eye view was mean. The ball goes 0 inches, and it's like, how is that even a strike? How is that an attempt at hitting a golf ball?
Yeah, Aria Jutanagarn, who had she did what everybody did. So the 18th hole is so unimaginably stupid the way they set the whole thing up. A lot of people were bitching about it, myself included. If this were a men's major, it would have gotten the most ridiculed responses of all time. The reason I say that, there's just a lot more eyeballs, a lot more opinions when it's a men's major, especially even if it was the U.S. Women's Open. I think it would have gotten a lot more because the Chevron just doesn't have the juice that the other majors have. They're even talking about that on Golf Channel. But it's this par 5 where pretty much everybody in the field, if they hit a decent drive, can get it to the green. So they just all hit woods at the green because there's a backstop right behind the green. There's water in front, backstop behind. So they just send it long. It literally hits the backboard, kicks back towards the green. So if it doesn't kick far enough, you just get relief from the grandstand. And not only do you just get relief, but in most cases, you would be getting relief on a downslope. So the ball would be rolling when they dropped it towards the green, aka closer to the hole, which you can't have. So you have to place it, or you get to place it. So the ladies were hitting it in, which everybody should take advantage of the rule. They weren't. They're hitting it into the grandstand on purpose. It was either bouncing back closer to the green, or it was just staying right there. They got to basically place the ball and then chip it. So unimaginably dumb way to finish. But that chip, that flub chip. So Jutanagarn came up to the last hole. She's literally over the green in 2 and just chipping, and all she has to do is make par, and she pretty much locks up the major, flubs that chip, then hits a much better chip, misses the putt, makes bogey. 5 different women go into a playoff, and she ends up losing. This Mao Saigo ends up winning. I think 23 years old, first win. They jump in the pond. They're doing the swimming, the whole thing. Good stuff. There was a missed 3-putt from a pretty close distance, or there was a 3-putt from a pretty close distance. So it was complete chaos. I can't even imagine that people have allowed this to happen, at least at minimum. Do what they do in the British Open, where in the British Open, they have a, much like if you have a drop zone, if you hit it in the water, they have a relief zone for the grandstands, and that relief zone is like pretty terrible. So like what they do is that, I remember maybe it was Royal Portrush, but they had on one of the grandstands surrounding one of the greens where people were hitting it a lot, they had prepared a drop zone that was like knee-high fescue and like weeds that people were dropping into, and it was like borderline unplayable in there. If you're going to do anything, like do that, you simply can't design it that way and have the entire tournament come down to a hole that's that stupid. It was so laughable. I think I saw somebody tweeted that it was unserious. It was an unserious hole to finish a major championship. And it was a pretty pathetic affair with that hole being the concluding hole.
Yeah, and I know the no layup guys are always on the forefront of fighting the backboards. Like they just can't wrap their heads around putting grandstands in places that guys can just use. Like I actually think one of the funniest things that they tweeted out was TGL actually put a backboard on one of the greens. They're like, even in the digital world, they added a backstop. I agree. I mean, professional golf on both levels, men's and females, they do get a lot of bounces that like amateurs don't get the benefit of having. Now, I get that they play on way tougher golf courses, so it all kind of evens out, and they're playing like the legit rules of golf when like the average hacker that's going to complain about this stuff is not doing the things that they are doing. But like you see a guy like fly one into the gallery, even at like Augusta National, right? Like there's times where like you fly one over the green, the ball's only like 10 feet off the green, when for us, like that's in the worst. We're making an 11 from where that ball ended up. So, I mean, there is a lot of situations in which they do get these, these backboard scenarios. And yeah, I mean, I think the tournament officials need to figure out a way so that can't just be such a crutch where that's your only play is to like rip it off of like a grandstand and just like be able to take a free drop and then
The
just
whole
make it up
field was doing it. The whole field was doing it. It's like
crazy. Like if that's the go-to, that's just unacceptable. It's unserious. It really becomes a different type of sport.
Unserious was my favorite thing I read. That is so good. But yeah, that flub chip was nightmares. I mean, that looked like one of my driver swings last year. It was like, I don't think that was like she just couldn't handle it. And that, right? Like she just,
like I said, like we've all
yipped
flubbed them and we've seen what flubs look like. For some reason, that angle cut through me like a steak knife. Like
yeah.
it was a professional athlete making a strike on a wedge shot and the ball went 0 inches. Like I'm like, I couldn't wrap my head around. And it wasn't even like they went under the ball. It was a bizarre flub.
Yeah, it was one of the wilder things I've seen.
Speaking of like a bad shot, I actually read on there was a story on Reddit the other day on the golf Reddit that was a marshal was like all over this group, like coming over to them, giving them tips, right? Like I think they started being like this, and then in parentheses, lonely Marshall was like all over us all day. He caught up to them 4 or 5 times and was like giving them tips from the cart path and like saying things after bad shots. And then finally he had enough, I guess. And he goes up and he takes one of the clubs out of the guy's bags and goes, let me like, I guess the guy missed a 6-iron like approach shot. And he goes, let me show you what it's like. And throughout the day, he was kind of alluding to like him having shoulder surgery and that like, he's probably pretty rusty, but he'd be able to show them. And he stands up, gets the 6-iron out of the guy's bag and shanks it like out of bounds, and then just goes, that golf ball is irrelevant to me, and then drove away. It's like one of the funniest lines I've ever heard dropped, because it is so true. Like that ball was irrelevant to his life. They must have been laughing at him, and he's like, you guys don't understand how irrelevant that shot was to me, and you guys are all irrelevant now, and I'm going to now go to the next group and hopefully I hit a good shot so that my day gets better. But that one might stick with me. If I hit a bad shot, I might just call out its irrelevancy for like the rest of my life. Like just flub one in the bunker. That ball was irrelevant anyway. I do not care.
Jesus. I like it. Trent, can you hear us?
I can hear you. And I think I'm here.
Good.
I heard that whole story. It was a great story, great Reddit story. And now I'm here. I hope I'm here to stay. But you guys seem clear as day to me now. So what's up?
It's like LASIK. It just opens up.
Those eyes doing all right? I feel like last time I saw... Okay, good.
Great. Someone described it to me as a slow opening curtain. That like as the weeks go on, things will just, you won't even realize it, but things will just get clear and you'll like remember what it used to look like. You're like, oh yeah, it's way better this week. And then the next week, you're like, oh yeah, it's way better this week than it was last week. So it's exciting.
Yeah, we filmed last week and you were nervous about it, but it was like 4 days after you had done it. So I was like, you need to give it like a month probably.
I think you need to give it like a month to really get a month or 2 months. Some people say 6 months, but yeah. For me, yeah, it's getting there. It's a real mind fuck at night, I will say. I lived my whole life taking my contacts out or putting my glasses off, taking my glasses off, and living in kind of a foggy haze. And like that would be like, it's time to go to bed now, because like you couldn't see anything anyway. Yeah. And now everything's so goddamn 4K. You're like, I'm laying in bed and I'm watching the game and I'm seeing everything. And I can't, you almost like can't go to sleep. And then you want to think like, I got to get up and take my contacts out. And you're like, no, Frank, your vision is perfect now. You can't, there is no going back. You see everything.
It's like those damn comedy movies.
It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. Things are less funny now.
Because you see them clearly, yeah.
Exactly.
Trent, we were talking a little women's golf major championship and the Mickey Mouse-ness, the unseriousness of that 18th hole.
Yeah, no, that was, I mean, I heard you guys talking about the flub chip too. Like that, it was, the whole thing was just, yeah, a very unserious finish there.
It was
very
for better
unserious.
or worse, though. Now, this is obviously for worse. I think this is a good sign for the LPGA and women's golf that it's getting so much hype around like certain topics like this, right? Like people are like arguing about certain strategies and going off. Like it feels like women's golf is starting to get into a good place. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more clips about it. Nelly Korda hype is obviously running rampant right now because she's the best player in the world. But obviously this is like a joke of it, but like it's good that people care that they're hitting off of the backboard and that like the tournament officials didn't put it in the right spot and all this stuff like that. To me, if it was like irrelevant, that would suck. Like if no one was talking about it. But it seems like this is like the hot topic in golf right now, which is good for the LPGA.
Yeah. I mean, if it were us, I would set it up like that 100% so that people would complain and there'd be controversy around it. It would be very good for the event rather than just having it be forgotten and not discussed or argued about. Absolutely. But yeah, I think the Nelly thing really helps. I mean, she wasn't really in the mix. I think she started with like a 5 over and then ultimately got to like 2 under. But yeah, she, ever since her run last year, I think it's really helped for the women's game. And then anytime you get controversy, you get a 5-way playoff, you get a flub chip, as annoying as that might be for those people in the mix or whoever, that's great for ratings. That's great for views on social. That's way better.
I also think, not to give all of the credit in the world to Caitlin Clark, but I think women's sports in general, it's like a rising tide for like, a lot of people are watching women's basketball now. It's like maybe they start to, leak into watching a little bit of women's golf. Like I think she's had a big impact on the entire women's sports landscape. Honestly, she has just like, it seemingly opened a ton of eyes to just like, there's women's sports too. And it's really, and Nelly's a big part of that. Everybody in their respective sport who is the star is a part of that. And Nelly certainly falls in that category. But I do think there's something to Caitlin Clark being so incredibly great and so charismatic and so interesting that people are kind of like, oh, all right, there's a whole other, section of sports that I really wasn't paying attention to. Now maybe we'll pay a little bit more attention to.
Well, not only was she so good that it brought that, but she was so good that they put her and women's sports just on TV more like that.
Yeah.
Just the product of her being her, we had to watch it. It was on ESPN. Whoa, what the hell was that?
You all right?
Did you hear that?
No, but I saw your reaction.
That was like a woodpecker like on my window or something. That was nuts.
Woodpecker on my window. That
sounds like it could be a song.
Yeah, it does sound like a song.
Like a Bob Marley song or something.
Sitting on the dock of the bay, woodpecker on my window.
No, I just think like you were forced to watch it. It was like there was Caitlin Clark watch every single night. Like every time she played a game, the ratings were through the roof. So, if that spills over to other sports, that's great. And I think it might be, but I think that, whoever, I've just seen more Nelly. I've seen more highlights. We always gauge it off of like the social media trends and like what you're seeing kind of on your Instagram, on your TikTok, on Twitter. That's just the way the world works now. That's how I gauge like how something is being kind of perceived. It's not really like the written form anymore. It used to be, oh my God, you got your name in the paper. And now it's like, oh, it's trending on Twitter. That's like just the difference now. And I just been seeing a lot more women's golf. I've seen the flub chip. I've seen them hitting it off the backboard. Like it might not be the best stuff, but it's still making its rounds.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is. This golf season, are you looking for an easier way to get on the course? We've got you covered because the Barstool Golf Time app makes it easy for golfers to find the best tee times at the best prices. Stop searching all over Google for your next tee time or going through the hassle of calling courses. You can search multiple courses in your area from one app and get your tee time set within just seconds. With every action you take in the app, you earn reward points which could be redeemed for free merch in the Barstool store. And this May, we have a big promotion going on all month long. The top 5 golfers who play the most rounds through Barstool Golf Time through May 31st will win a Barstool Chicago HQ Tour experience, gentlemen.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's worth the price of admission right there. I mean, it's a hell of a facility. You're going to want to see everything that's going on there at the headquarters. And yeah, this Golf Time app is just, it's revving back up. It's golf season all across the country now. All the courses are ready to go, ready to rock. They're starting to fill up. Make sure you go get the best deals and accumulate those points on our app. It really does come with a lot of benefits.
It really does. Plus, one additional winner will be selected at random from golfers who play at least one round through the app in May. So, top 5 golfers who play the most rounds, plus one additional winner at random from anyone who plays at least one round on the Barstool Golf Time app in the month of May. You're going to get Barstool Chicago HQ Tour experience. Spring is finally here, so come golf with us. Download the Barstool Golf Time app today. All right, moving on. I know we never really discussed this, I don't believe, on the show, but Wesley Bryan being suspended by the tour after playing in the Live Golf Duels event in Miami. Did we discuss that on the show? I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
So, if you don't know the background, there were a bunch of folks, YouTube creators, kind of the Live Golf's first version of the Creator Classic. They did it down in Miami several weeks ago, put out a whole video around it on Grant Horvat's channel. And Wesley Bryan was part of that event shoot. He was he was on one of the teams. Who was he with? Like DJ or something like that? I can't remember exactly who he was with, but then for playing in that, he found out that he was suspended by the PGA Tour. He was actually at the Punta Cana event, the one in which Joel Damon came up just short. And once he was already there, he found out he was suspended by the tour. There were threats. There were all kinds of reports of threats from the tour of the different creators. If creators participated in this Live Duels thing, that they would be banned from PGA Tour events, from creator events that the tour does. And then I had heard that they had kind of backed down on that. Wesley Bryan is in an interesting case because, he's an active member of the PGA Tour. He's playing in PGA Tour events. I think it was last year he finished second in a PGA Tour event. He's won on the PGA Tour before, versus, creators or whatever, kind of like us. We're kind of like media. So can you ban media for doing a media type event at a Live thing? But they ended up doing it. They ended up suspending Wesley Bryan, and I believe he's actively still suspended from the PGA Tour.
It's an interesting case because I think Grant Horvat got a sponsors exemption invite to that same event, and I don't know that he took it, but I know that
one. Not the
same.
same.
It's not the same one.
But he did get a sponsors invite to the Barracuda Championship.
Got it. Which is a PGA Tour sanctioned event. Which is, I mean, the hypocrisy, I guess, that people saw in that is outrageous. Now, I do know that there's a difference because Wesley is an actual active PGA Tour member. To me, it's really Wesley knew the line that he was crossing by going to the Live event. I mean, he's not dumb. He knew the landscape of the PGA Tour versus Live, regardless of where it's going to be going. Hopefully it gets merged sooner than later. Hopefully all of this is in the past, but in the current landscape, it's the biggest topic ever. That if a PGA Tour member plays in a Live sanctioned event or whatever it might be. Now I know that that's not what it was, but you are kind of benefiting off of that other entity. And he did that for his own reasons, and he did that for his own personal gain. And his old employer or his employer is his league that he is a member of is you can't do this has been a fucking ongoing fight for 5 years. You can't do that. Of course you can't do that. And he knew that probably going in, and he still did it. So I don't know that he deserves so much everyone's so sad for him. I think he knew exactly what he was doing.
I fall on both sides of it. I understand what you're saying, where it's he definitely knew what line he was crossing. To me, and then to have the Grant thing, that does reek of hypocrisy. There's this couple semantic things where it's oh, he's not a member of the PGA Tour, but the live event that they put on was then put on his YouTube channel, and then he gets a sponsors exemption to a PGA Tour event. Like that to me, regardless of member or not, like there's definitely hypocrisy there. And for the PGA Tour side of it, it felt like this was maybe an opportunity to just not let it go, but you wouldn't have to throw the book at somebody, and just hopefully that the relations between these two leagues are getting better. And you just be like, all right, it's not great that a PGA Tour member played in the duels. That's a live event. But you could see it as an opportunity to kind of be like, hopefully things are thawing between these two leagues. To me, it was almost a sign that things are not thawing, where there was such a response of you playing this, you're suspended. So that was a bit concerning to me. I thought the PGA Tour could maybe put out a statement being like, we didn't love this, but as the negotiations are ongoing, blah, 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 to just straight up be like, you're suspended, made me not feel great about the Live PGA Tour thing right now.
Yeah, and even for me to backtrack a little bit, it is weird to watch the match that happened when like Rory and Scottie were playing against, was it Brooks and Bryson? Like, why do you allow that? Because you were able to benefit off of it as a PGA Tour,
Right.
And like, why can't Wesley go play in a YouTube video against live golfers when Rory McIlroy went and did it on TBS? Like, what's the difference there? I mean, I actually agree with what you're saying.
I guess the difference is that they went to the live event to promote the live event strictly. That's what it was for. That's what the timing was all about. That's why they did a 2-day turnaround or whatever they did, was purely to like promote Live Golf Miami. And so I think the tour would have been in a tough spot not to do something, because I have to imagine there were many people behind the scenes, agents, managers, players.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Being like, what the fuck? We all got banned from the tour for basically ever. Or, hey, I stuck with the tour because I was told by you guys if I went and did something live, I would have been banned by the tour forever. How come this fucking guy, just because he's on YouTube, is not banned? That's outrageous. And they're playing for $250,000 over there. Like, all of it put the tour in a spot where I kind of agree with you, Frankie. Your original take, before you started backtracking a little bit, but the original take, just that I think too, it comes off as a little disingenuous to play the sympathy card when you knew 100% what the repercussions are. I mean, it's been pretty clear for years. And so if you go in and you do something that you know what the punishment is, and then you get the punishment, even if you don't think that there should be the punishment, that doesn't mean that like you weren't right in making your decision if you don't want to be punished. It's like, no, that you knew that was what was going to happen.
I agree with that, but there is a part of me that is glad that he did it so we could see what happened. Like there is a world where they threaten him and they're like, oh no, this is going to happen if you play in that event and you promote live like you're saying. And he just says, all right, then I'm not going to do it. No worries. And we never know. For him to actually cross the line and do it, and for them to get suspended, it's at least interesting to see what happens if somebody tries to do this, because it is such a gray area. Like, I know it's a less of a gray area, I guess, with him because he is a PGA Tour member, but like there's the YouTube space and they're putting it on Grant's channel, and there's so many different pieces of it that I'm actually glad that we got an answer on what will happen if X does this. And now we have that answer. Wesley Bryan is suspended, I think, indefinitely.
Yeah, and to backtrack it even more on the other side now, I'm going to bring it back, is like we got a call from someone that I'll keep anonymous that was telling us about that event because we were like trying to set something up. And I remember in the call, they were like, yeah, Wesley's even playing in it. He's taking the risk. Like he's like, it's pretty crazy, but like Wesley Bryan's playing in this thing.
Yeah.
I guess he's making his decision going full YouTube now, was like kind of the crux of the conversation. And then, so when you hear that, you see him playing it, and then you see the picture that he posts of him like standing on the outside of the ropes, PGA Tour. You can't really be like, well, like, I mean, 1 + 1 = 2 here. I mean, you did that, they did this, and that's what this equals, is you standing on the other side of the ropes. I mean, you can't be that surprised. The thing that now maybe bring it back to the other side is the PGA Tour has just way too many murky waters right now with all of this stuff, with like allowing people to do certain things and not. The Grant Horvat stuff is starting to get a little bit weird with like how much so I mean, he's partnered with Phil Mickelson, who is like anti PGA Tour. The guy is literally the reason why live golf is a thing. It's been Phil versus the PGA Tour. That quite literally might be like in the US like Supreme Court, it might be saying Phil versus the PGA Tour. Like, as he's currently doing full series with Liv and Phil. They have him at the Creator Classic at Sawgrass, and he wins.
Yeah.
And he's like the poster child for the creator side of the PGA Tour. So like, as someone on the outside looking in on that situation, the PGA Tour looks like the dumbest people of all time for doing that, right? Like for saying that you can do like you can do whatever you want if you're in this space. So I don't know where the line is there. I understand that there's a line when you're actually a PGA Tour member, but there is apparently no line if you're not. So I don't know why Wesley doesn't just go full on, creator mode and just forget what's going on with the PGA Tour.
Right. Because what that says to me is if you are, Grant Horvat is as involved with Liv as you can be, as you alluded to, Frankie, with Phil Mickelson. And when they let him participate in their Creator Classic, they're saying you can do all that and then participate in our side of it. But then if you flip it and try to be a part of the Live Creator thing, now that's a no-go. Like that to me is more hypocrisy where, yeah, if you're Grant Horvat and you're involved with all of this stuff that is very clearly Live, like Phil Mickelson is on a Live team, he's very involved in it. And then when Grant is like, oh, can I play in your Creator event, PGA Tour? They're like, yeah, great. And then he wins it. And then when you flip it around and a guy from the PGA Tour tries to go into the Live Creator event, they say no. Now, the line there is one is a PGA Tour member and one isn't. But I think the waters are so murky that that's starting to matter less and less. To me, it looks like if you want to participate in our event with the PGA Tour, you can. But then if you want to flip sides and go and create and participate in a Live Creator event, now you've crossed the line.
But they invited him to a PGA Tour event.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they want.
It's fucking crazy.
I know. What I'm saying is they want all of it on their side, and that's when you know your argument is a little flimsy. Like if they were saying, can't participate in any of this because you have Live on you, then that is more of a strong stance than being like, you can play in our Creator event, but you can't play in theirs.
Yeah. No, it's all over the place. It is, and also Wesley needs to it's the funniest debate now. If Wesley Bryan's a pro golfer or a content guy, figure it out. It's what is it? To me, he's a YouTube guy now.
Yeah, right? I think this was him choosing, YouTube over playing professional golf. I think this was him making, the same call that they're not on the same level, but Paige Sporanic made a decade ago or so. Whenever she was like, I'm not trying to play professional golf anymore. I'm going all in on influencing and my social following and building a business that way because I don't want to compete. I'm not saying he doesn't want to compete, but I think in a lot of the quotes that I saw from him afterwards, we talked about this is one of the most powerful videos in YouTube golf. So I really needed and wanted to be a part of it. So yeah, I think this is him kind of choosing I'm gonna be a YouTuber over a professional golfer.
And he's great at it. I think he should do that.
Dude, and to his credit, it's a banger of a way to go out. You get banned by the PGA Tour like that.
Put on a leather jacket.
Right. Smoke a cigarette, do the whole thing. I think Grant is a far more interesting thing in this whole ordeal. Because he's very much credit to him. They're letting him do all of it. It's incredible. It's great.
We love Grant. We're obviously all around him. He's a tailor-made guy. I love how much accessibility he's getting. It is confusing to a lot of the people in that world where you're like, all right, he is partnered with Liv and Phil Mickelson and the whole entire deal. He's actually owners with him and businesses and everything now, which is great. And then you go to the Waste Management, which is their biggest event and one of their biggest events. And he's out there doing an 18-hole video with Chesson Thomas, in a featured practice round group. So you're like, even people that were there were complaining to us being like, what do you benefit off having an allegiance to the PGA Tour in our world, right? Or the Wesley Bryan's world. For him, he's probably seeing that where it's what am I benefiting by staying loyal? Let me go take the biggest opportunities possible. And unfortunately for Wesley, he got fucked because they're saying they're looking in semantics and they're saying you have this card, there's rules and regulations and you're gone.
I also think it's different. No disrespect to Wesley Bryan, but if Rory did this, it would be much different. And I know that would never happen. But if you just want to play it out to its highest degree, can be a sacrificial lamb of you're banned, you're done, you can't do that.
I think it's a bullshit move. I think it's a bullshit move by the tour.
I fall on both sides of it. It's not a great way to make an argument, but Riggs is right in that they had to do something because it had to be chaos behind the scenes of all right, you got to set a precedent. There has to be something where you can't be like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you can go over there. Then you're just going to have a PGA Tour player crossing the line of, I'm just going to play in a live event then. If you guys don't lay the hammer on people, then we're just going to be able to do this. So I understand from their what's that?
You're bringing me back.
I know. Well, this is the beauty of conversation and discussion, is that you can feel both ways and then have your argument change.
Every segment should be me and Trent just make our arguments, and we see where Frankie ends up at the end of the whole thing.
I've always been very proud of the fact that you can change my opinion. Absolutely. I could be the strongest opinionated person of all time, but if you make a good argument, I will die with you on that side of it. You know what I mean?
I've always loved that about you. You're very open.
I will.
Yes,
I agree with that.
I do have my pretty strong takes, and half of them, or more than half of them, aren't educated. You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So as we start to go through more of the facts, I start to learn more, which is what human nature is all about. You learn and you adapt and you change. How have I learned and adapted 7 times in this one conversation? Yes. I don't know where I fall on this. If I was a jury, I'd be a hung jury right now. I have no idea where I fall on this.
Yeah. It's a really interesting, just an interesting thing, because I go against my own argument right now where I say, I almost wish the PGA Tour took this as an opportunity to be like, all right, where are we at with Live PGA Tour? I haven't heard from Yasser. I haven't heard from Monahan. I don't know where, it's been forever. So that's why, to me, them suspending Wesley was 2 things. It was, 1, you have to set a precedent for PGA Tour players participating in any sort of live activity. And 2, it makes me not feel great about where we're at with the negotiations on merging.
If Wesley's listening to this, which I'm sure he is.
Think so?
Yeah. I mean, I think, this is a story. I'm sure he's listening to it.
Yeah.
I think you knew what you did. I think you knew what was going to happen. But I also think there's major hypocrisy in the PGA Tour. And I do think that you deserve to have your arguments heard as to why it shouldn't have happened to you specifically. I don't know where I fall on it. I want to say, just fucking do, put it in the past. I mean, you're crushing it. You know what I mean? Just choose at some point. If they're going to make you choose, you've got the right choice right in front of you. You know?
I think he chose.
Okay.
I would agree with your statement to a listening Wesley Bryan right there, where I think that put the tour in a tough spot. I think they made a decision based on the best information and outcome that they thought they had to, but that you very, very much deserve I think he's appealing. You very, very much deserve in the appeal process to make your case. And I hope that it all works out great in the end. And I hope that you keep crushing it in YouTube golf. The Grant Horvat one, as you guys have mentioned, is a very tricky spot for the PGA Tour. The 2 of those things coming out at the same time, that he wasn't sure if he should play in this PGA Tour event that he got invited to play in, while Wesley Bryan got banned from the PGA Tour when he's won on the PGA Tour, was unbelievable that they came out at the same time. I don't know, now that he has done the live thing, does that change the invite that he got? I don't know how that works. I sounded like from all the stuff he put out, everybody wants him to play in the PGA Tour event, myself included. I would love to see how he does at a PGA Tour event. I think it's great for the PGA Tour event if he does play. I think it was better for the Creator Classic at Sawgrass that he played, because he's a big name, very big in what we do. I think the tour is hamstrung a little bit by just how big and how connected he is, right? It's he partners with Phil, but he's also huge in the space, partners with everybody on our side of it as well. And who would say no to having him there? And he plays great. He's got that beautiful golf swing, beautiful action. All the clips are going to do really well because it's very, appealing. It's just, why would you not have him there? So they're in kind of a weird spot with him. Nobody really wants to tell him, I think, no. I think, amazingly, I feel like they're, I think somebody made this point. I think they thought it much easier to ban Wesley Bryan and be like, we'll just ban him, than it is to ban Grant Horvat.
But that may have been a mistake, though, because I think Wesley and the Bryan bros do have a pretty huge following that's pretty vocal, that are now turning on this decision, that I think they may have miscalculated that. I think that you're essentially banning a Grant by doing that to the Wesley brothers. You know what I mean? This is not just some 200th in the world, barely gets into the events guy. He's not a no name. He's got he is a part of this YouTube golf space.
Yeah, he's a huge name. Huge.
He's a huge name. So like that is where they misstepped a little bit.
Well,
where it's like it's not the same as the guy that's just trying to get into the tournament.
But here's where Grant is very smart. He won't take up Wesley's war, where he won't say, all right, now because I'm a part of this world too, I'm not doing PGA Tour events. Grant knows that he can right now do all of it because he is the top of the mountain and gets the most views and gets the most eyeballs and gets the most interest. So like you're saying, yeah, maybe some of the YouTube crowd will turn against what the PGA Tour is doing to Wesley, but Grant himself will never say like, I agree with that. You guys crossed the line by banning that guy. So I don't think as many people will take up arms as you might be saying.
Right, we're the only ones that'll talk about this on a podcast.
Oh yeah.
Everyone else is roses and daisies and they're just skipping around, having drinks. We're like giving our takes and shit. Wesley's probably fucking throwing bots on us or something. I don't know. I think
we're on Wesley's side.
Though. I think we're on his side.
Right.
No, dude, I'm not saying I'm not against Wesley at all. I'm saying I just think like
when I spoke directly to him on the podcast, he understood what we were saying.
Yeah, dude.
He made the choice. He knew what the outcome was going to be. He also has a ground to stand on for the hypocrisy side of it. He does.
He handled it in a way that gives him the biggest bang. If he's like, I'm now just going to step into the YouTube world, he got banned by the PGA
Smoke
Tour.
a cigarette.
That's
lean
awesome.
up against a fucking brick wall. Post a picture.
Nothing. We've known this for a long time, and we've gone through many iterations of it. Nothing gets the juice like getting banned. Like Dave knows that with the NFL.
Move.
Get banned, maybe even try and show up to an event, get carried out. What I mean?
Bro, he literally did that what you're saying. He took the picture outside of the ropes. Like that's the same shit.
It's good.
It's
really good. He made a
good
YouTube video
it's
just
real
said,
good,
I'm suspended.
Still
great.
Suspended.
So
great
good.
Video.
As guys on the content side, I love it.
Suspended Bryan.
Suspended Bryan.
Banned Bryan.
Banned Bryan. The Banned Bryan Bros.
Band of Brothers Bryan Bros.
The Banned Bryan Bros. I like it. The BBBs.
Another live news. Joaquin Niemann won Live Golf Mexico City last week, which the reason that's of note is it earns him a spot into the U.S. Open. Niemann had been very vocal for the last several years about basically not doing qualifying. He said it after his event or after his win, where they asked him about what it means to kind of be, get into the U.S. Open now. And he said, my team has been trying to convince me to sign up for sectionals and sign up for qualifying. He's like, this is very nice that now I'm definitely not going to have to play 36 holes the day after a tournament. So for a guy who, again, has been one of the better players on Live for years now, he will be into the U.S. Open without having to go through any version of qualifying. Another thing of note in there is that Bryson was leading by a couple, I believe, and then made a late double. And Niemann ended up birdieing the last hole to win by like 3, I think. So another big win, and he's into the U.S. Open for good old Joaquin Niemann.
Did you guys see this clip of Bryson complaining about the bunkers, or was that AI?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
There was a video of him. It was pretty choppy. But he was like, worst fucking bunkers of all time. He's like, someone's going to get hurt out here, something like that.
Can we pull that up?
He chunked one. And a lot of the comments were like, uh-oh, like this is it. Like you put too many live cameras around this guy and he doesn't have his hand on the editing button. He starts to show a little bit of who he is again. He was hitting out of a fluffy. He was hitting out of a fluffy bunker, and he's like, "Worst fucking bunkers ever."
All right, here we go.
Worst fucking bunkers ever. The worst.
What's that video?
No, look. You have the fucking felper roll. What the hell? You could hurt somebody's wrist. You could break someone's wrist.
It's a great
Can't
bunker.
even get it
It's
out.
a fine bunker. It's a little fluffy. I mean, he's hit
Bunker
7 out
looks
of them.
Nice.
You're gonna break
It's so
someone's
bad.
wrist.
I do think that's real. If we're just going to judge it on real or AI, which is a really scary world that we're living
This
in,
is
and
our
about to
unedited
enter.
Bryson has returned a little bit. That's nice. Nice to see.
Well, yeah, I think that was real. So he just hates that bunker. Hates it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the way we looked at the game, we'd get shredded if we were like complaining about nice fluffy bunkers at like a big event. But it's just he's always you throw
Dude,
the
if I
camera
just,
on him
like,
enough, you're gonna get something out of him.
Walked out of a bunker at McLemore on this awesome trip that they like took care of us for. And was like, worst fucking bunkers of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also comes with whenever he complains, he always attaches something that everyone should be worried about. He's like, you could hurt yourself in here. It's not him just being like, I hate this bunker. He's being like, you should hate it too because you could get hurt in here. So
I don't even know what a thumb roller. What is a thumb roller? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
I don't either.
He's
like,
I actually got in that situation with Lingo the other day. I actually texted our boy Luke at Rockville. I was just like, how's Rockville doing? I want to go do one of my 9-hole videos there. I love that place.
Yeah.
And he's like, been good, just doing some Billy bunkering. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, getting it dialed up. I had no idea what that was. I just kind of brushed it off. Oh, Billy bunkering? I tried to look it up. It's like some sort of way to drain bunkers, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea what Billy bunkering is. I would love to learn.
Oh, they're Billy bunkering over at Rockville.
That's right. Dialing it in.
I find myself not even in just golf conversations, just general conversations where I will, before I respond to someone, I will Google what they're saying so I understand kind of what footing we're on. It happens more often than I care to admit, honestly.
I looked up a word to see if it was I looked up what a verb and an adjective was the other day.
Okay.
Before I said, oh yeah, we could turn it into a verb. It was like a sales call.
If you could you please for the audience describe the difference right now if we ask you to do that?
A verb is like an action.
Yep.
Right? So like I'm going to punch something. Punch would be a verb.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have said that very passively. You said I'm going to punch. So like punching would be like a verb, you know? Like,
yeah.
Now what's the difference between a verb and an adverb?
Adverb is like kind of, I believe, what you just did with that sentence there of like I'm going to punch somebody. So you get
now,
like,
and an adjective is describing something.
Correct.
Very blue.
Okay. All right.
Very soft. Soft would be the adjective.
mm-hmm.
Yep. Nice. All right.
Yeah, I kind of understand. I grasped it prior to Googling it, but I just wanted you guys to know that I did do my double check, and I was like looking down, and then I very confidently was like, we could turn it into a verb. And then like there was a little bit of silence after, and I was like, oh fuck, I said the wrong one. And the guy was like, I love that actually. And I was like, God damn, I'm good.
God damn, I'm good.
God damn. I'm always like nodding. Are you ever honest with anyone when they're ever saying something that you don't like get, where you're like, no, I actually don't understand that? Like my father-in-law always asks me, Don will always ask me like if I'm watching a show or you see that show, I'm always like, yeah. I'm always just saying yeah to everything. You know what I mean?
I think
I'm
we
never
all do
like,
that.
no, explain it to me. You know what I mean?
As you get older, I feel like you're more likely to be like, no, I haven't seen that at all. What is that? Tell me about that. You know?
I think for things that aren't that like pretty inconsequential things, I'll you till the cows come home. But if they're like, all right, then we're gonna go kill this guy, and then we're just gonna, it's like, then I'll probably step in. But if it's have you heard this song? Have you listened to that album? I'm like, yeah, it's great, it's amazing,
dude. It brings me to this show. You guys ever watched The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder?
I've heard about it, but I have never watched it.
He is so fucking good at what he does. He's a comedian, but he is so good at making these documentaries on HBO. Go watch The Rehearsal, the most recent one. I think only 2 episodes are out right now. It's about aviation issues and planes crashing, which is not great. But he thinks that he has uncovered, and he's a very serious person. He thinks that he's uncovered the fact that pilots and co-pilots, captains and co-pilots, do not have enough communication, and that is what directly leads to 99% of fatal plane crashes, where like a captain is doing something wrong, the person to his right or her right is not speaking up, and then the plane goes down. And he has like evidence of like black box conversation of like every single time the person like questioning what's going on, the pilot being like, you don't get to speak, this is my plane, and them just kind of just taking their hands off. So the whole series, I think, is about trying to get pilots to communicate better. And the way that he does this is so fucking funny. It actually makes you like belly laugh. This is what I was kind of alluding to in the beginning. Like there's no more comedies. They're all shows now. They're not movies. Go watch this because it's interesting, and it's also just the people he finds that are actually pilots are outrageous that they are actually living in this world with us. It's insane.
Yeah, Nathan Fielder's just one of those guys. He had Nathan For You forever,
dude.
That show, and that's you watch some of those. He's one of those guys who just operates on a different level, and you kind of can't believe that he exists.
The rehearsal is about like rehearsing situations. So like someone's like, oh, I don't really talk to this pilot. He's like, where do you usually see him? He's like in the lobby, in the pilot's lobby of the Houston airport. So Nathan Fielder built the Houston airport in like 4 different hangars in LA to the exact specs of what the Houston airport lit. And he went out and got 200 actors that work at the Cinnabon, that work at the same Panda Express, and he gets to rehearse the scenario in which he walks into the room, the same guy's sitting in there, and he taught. So it's like, and the person can't believe what he's in right now. He's walking through TSA. He's in a fucking studio. It is so fucking funny. And it's only 2 episodes in, so I don't know where it goes, but interesting. Number one, interesting findings, because like if that is true, he's actually saving lives because like it's getting the conversation talking.
Mind blowing shit.
Yeah.
Roe Sparks are a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for, wait for this, gentlemen, stronger, harder erections, which is what we all want, right?
Yes, sir.
Of course.
The goal.
They hit the bloodstream faster because they dissolve under the tongue, and getting hard faster means having more sex. If you're having more sex, I think you're doing great in life. After they dissolve, they work at 15 minutes on average. Roe Sparks can give guys thicker, longer erections than you usually have because they get fuller. Roe Sparks give you the boost to last longer, so it's more fun for both of you. Roe stays active in your system for up to 36 hours, so you can go back to back to back, round after round. Be ready the morning after. Be ready for play with Roe Sparks. With Roe Sparks, you can get the erection you've always wanted. Roe connects guys with a medical provider 100% online. So guess what? You get to avoid awkward conversations with in-person providers. If approved, treatment ships directly to your door. So connect with a provider at roe.co/foreplay. That's one word, foreplay, Foreplay. That is ro.co/foreplay to find out if prescription Roe Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/foreplay for $15 off your first order. President's Cup. We have captains named for next year's President's Cup 2026 at Medina, number 3. Great spot in Chicago. Brandt Snedeker for the USA. Jeff Ogilvy for Team International. I don't know if I've said this before, but sat with Brandt Snedeker at the bar in Canada last year when I was up there for Alistair playing in the RBC Canadian Open. What an absolute beauty Brandt Snedeker is. He had shot, several over par, I believe, round 1. And he was just trying to get away from the hoopla. So he was at like a little bar restaurant right down the street from the hotel where there was really nobody there. Colt Knost ended up jumping in with us. We had like a handful of us. And he had a couple drinks with us and just laughed it up all night. Brandt Snedeker's a phenomenal dude that I would have never really – I just hadn't really ever talked to Brandt Snedeker. So him being the President's Cup captain, kind of didn't come as that big of a surprise. So I was like, oh, the other guys must absolutely love him.
It also didn't come as a surprise to me. Like, I don't know how to convey this correctly, but just off the conveyor belt line of whether it's President's Cup or Ryder Cup captains, like you just knew Brandt Snedeker one day was going to get the captaincy. You know what I mean? It's I don't know how to describe it, but it just, when I saw that name pop up, I was like, of course Brandt Snedeker is going to be the President's Cup captain. Never
Who
a name.
Snedeker and Ogilvy?
Mm-hmm. Jeff Ogilvy, yeah.
Yeah, they're not headline grabbers.
Well, it's and I'm not even saying it because it's the President's Cup. It's no different than like Steve Stricker or Zach Johnson or Brandt Snedeker or Webb Simpson or now this is the nature of golf, but these all guys to me.
You're describing golfers, Trent.
I know, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's Mr. Softy, it's vanilla ice cream. It's like they are just, veteran American golfers that aren't the top names, but they're popular enough to have the captaincy, and they're probably popular enough amongst their peers that they'll be respected. But they're no headline grabbers, that's for sure.
Not going to rock the boat. They're never going to rock the boat.
No.
These boys
They're respected. They're respected peers. And
I am not trying to take away anything from these gentlemen. I'm just saying that the captaincy, certainly for the President's Cup and for the Ryder Cup, it's typecast. It's a big typecast community of like, oh yeah, that's the guy who's going to get it. And that was just something I was thinking.
What would a name be that would really rizz you up, really just kind of send you, in a tizzy?
I will say, Keegan was, as far as captaincies goes, that's about as outside the line as you're kind of gonna get. But like, who would be? Yeah, like John Daly, rock the fucking boat,
bang.
That would have been a great one.
That one gets the people going for sure. For sure.
That's all I'm saying.
John Daly.
John Daly gets the people. John Daly at the President's Cup gets the people going.
Oh, they're gonna go Jeff Ogilvy. We're gonna go John Daly.
Right.
Red, white, and blue pants. Just really just Trump's out there with them. It would be insane.
The President's Cup has been in an incredible spot. Like I love the President's Cup. You get great moments from it. You get guys like Tom Kim coming out of it. You get the Tom Kim Scottie moment. But like, yeah, if you really want to put the pedal to the metal, throw up John Daly.
John Daly, Kid Rock, Donald Trump on the first tee of the President's Cup at Medina does numbers. Like that does numbers. If we're in the numbers game, it's a little bit better than Brent Seneca.
If you lose, if we win, the tariffs are going up.
Yep. That's right.
They're going up.
Right.
They're going up.
Yep.
We are playing against the whole world,
They're going up.
Tariff them all, man.
It's already happening, but they're going up.
That's why we're making those hoodies.
Those hoodies are going to be $300 by the time this thing.
And once we got to wrap this up. I got to go make some more hoodies, boys. Send these things.
My fingers hurt.
Yeah, Jeff Ogilvy and Brent Seneca. Yeah.
I want to hear about this wedding, Trent. A couple of our coworkers got married this last weekend.
Yeah, I was at the Rhea and Marty wedding in New York. It was in Brooklyn. Beautiful, beautiful church. Beautiful ceremony. The reception was right on the water. You could see the Manhattan skyline. A bunch of our coworkers were there too. I was nice to see them because now as a Florida guy, I don't see as many people as I used to, just on a regular basis. So, unfortunately, I saw Tommy Smokes, but I got to see like Jeff D. Lowe, Noah Ives, who's the Chicks in the Office producer. Robbie. I sat next to Robbie Fox at dinner, and that was like talking to that guy. I mean, I lived with him for 4 years. I just love hanging out with him. He's always got things to say. We were talking about everything, and that was really fun. Glennie Balls was there. Caleb was there. So it's our ex-coworkers now, but it was just good to see everybody, and it was really just a classy-ass wedding, and everybody had a really, really good time.
Looked amazing.
It did look insane.
Beautiful day, too. And when because even Hannah and I are looking at the weather, and you're like, when weddings are coming up, and you're hoping that they have good weather. And Saturday looked a little dicey. And I was like, oh, I wonder when their wedding is. I hope it's on Friday, because it was 72 and sunny, not a cloud in the sky.
Dude, and they were saying the church was beautiful. And they were saying because Easter was a week.
Unbelievable. The picture.
Easter was a week ago, right? Or a week. It had been a week. And I guess at that church or other churches, I don't know the details and specifics of it, but they celebrate Easter for a week. So it's a week-long ceremony. So they kept the flowers from Easter up for their wedding ceremony. And that's
a win.
It was took my breath away. It was so beautiful.
That's a win.
It was a huge win for them. And yeah, weddings are really fun. You get on the dance floor, I by song 2, I'm out of moves. I'm I'm here. I'm keeping it pretty tight. I think there's the Will Smith, Kevin James clip from Hitch. I'm very much keeping it in the middle. But yeah, KFC was there. And after the second song, I leaned over to him and I said, I'm out of moves. I'm out of moves. And he's like, I know. But I stayed out there because it was cool the way they did it. You got there, they did the first dance, which was beautiful, and then immediately went to everybody dancing. Even before the food, they did it in a way where it's everybody's already on the dance floor. Then the food came out, and then you go back on the dance floor, and everybody kept going in these waves.
Party going.
Yeah, man, it was really well done. And it was, at the end of the night, they had a guy rolling cigars. So we're out there. There was an outer area where there was a fire pit. and you can see the skyline, and you're next to the water, and everybody's smoking cigars. Just really, really well done.
Trent missed the cigar part of my wedding.
I did?
Must have.
Did I take off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty late, wasn't it?
We're playing beer pong on the first tee of Bethpage Black. It was
What time did that start?
Oh, that was 2 a.m.
It was late.
I was hitting my third REM cycle by then.
No, I'm very happy for them. And it looks like they're on a beautiful honeymoon in Switzerland, which is a place I always wanted to go. So happy for them. Great couple. They've been through like the ringer on social media, especially at Barstool Sports. And, love wins. And I'm very happy for them. They're great people. I'm excited for them.
Rhea looked stunning in her dress. Marty looked absolutely great. Absolutely great. Switzerland is one of those on my Instagram for a couple of years now. Switzerland's had a full hold on me.
She posted something. She said she posted something that I've always been interested in. She's like, it's 75 degrees, but there's snow like everywhere.
Yeah,
it's like the most interesting place on the planet.
Amazing. It's so bizarre. Yeah, I follow like a handful of Switzerland like tourism accounts or video accounts. The place just looks like the most beautiful place on planet Earth.
There's a couple places on Earth that I want to go to because I've never really seen anything like it. It's where those mountains are like right above you, but you're in a pretty populated area. Like it's not like you got to go. So I think Whistler's one of them because I always see Mac Boucher posting with those mountains in the background, and it looks like something out of Lord of the Rings, like you can't believe it's like right there. You're at the base of it, but there's like a golf course and a city and everything. It's not like you got to go hiking. And then Switzerland, when I saw Rhea's Instagram story. They nailed everything with that. And Rhea's gotten so big and like popular with like her pop culture podcast, and like she's a part of pop culture. Her and Fran are like a part of it. Yeah. So like when you saw the photos coming out of her and her dress and like the way that she looked, I was like, that's a famous person. Like as you're looking at it on social media, you're like, that's just just like when you look at all the other famous people that get married, Rhea was one of them. It was unbelievable. That was such a like pinch me moment to be like, what the hell is going on? She looks like a famous person getting married today.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It was great. Their vows were off. They wrote their own vows and they were off.
Oh, I can't
do
that.
Charts.
Yeah,
off the charts. Just really a great couple, and I was honored to be invited. Just honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for them.
Yeah. Hell yeah! Congratulations to them. Hope they enjoy that honeymoon. I got to get to Switzerland at some point. It looks fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I wonder if they have golf there. They got to have golf there.
I think so.
You got to have a license.
Fuck. Hopefully not.
Yeah,
144. Anybody got anything else, boys?
There's a chance I have a baby by the time we do this podcast again. So I think the due date was today.
Good chance, right?
Yeah, I mean, the worst case scenario would be next Wednesday. Not the worst, but like that's like the furthest they'll let it go. But we're now in the end game. Like they did the math and they're like it would happen today, and it's not happening today. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen Friday. It could happen Saturday. It could happen Sunday.
Wow,
nerve-wracking.
It is.
I keep telling her, I'm like, I don't want you to go right now. It's like you kind of want to like hold on to just like what you got going on right now. We were just laying in bed. I'm like, this is nice.
Yeah. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be beautiful.
Can't wait. The amount of people that check in were like that. Like the amount of text messages I've gotten being like, "Where is this baby?" You don't realize how many people like keep tabs on it.
You don't realize how many people just like my family, just like my mom and my sisters, and like they're secondary check-ins. I'm getting checked in with for your check-in.
Dude, and I'm that is a common thing now.
And I'm not checking in with you because I'm like the last thing he wants to do is have another check-in. So I'm gonna know. Trust me, I'll know when he has it. Like he'll let us know. But I'm not going to check in with the check-in because
tell your beautiful parents that I will let them know once that baby is born. You guys will get a photo. You can send it to them.
Great.
But I appreciate everyone checking in. It's actually a little overwhelming how many people do check in. You're like, no. And then like, everything all right? And you're like, yeah, everything's great. It's just like, we'll tell you. We will tell you.
Yeah. No, man. People are excited.
It's good. It's good. I might go out and play 9 holes today. Just like
get out there.
Yeah.
Final round.
You should. Yeah. Final supper. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Godspeed to the Borellis. Go watch a video. It's an awesome, awesome match. I think people are going to love it. And we'll be back next week per usual as we get closer to the PGA Championship.
Oh, and if you've listened to this show for an hour and 35 minutes already, go hit the subscribe button if you don't already, whether you're on Apple or Spotify. Just hitting subscribe, even hitting unsubscribe and then subscribe again. It just gets this thing kind of going again. We really don't do many call to actions for the podcast. We throw merch at you and then we throw a lot of the videos at you, but we really don't ask a lot about this podcast in terms of subscriptions. Go do that. It does a lot for us. And I think the new way that like Apple and Spotify do their algorithms, if people aren't like actively subscribing, they actually won't push this thing out to people. So go hit the subscribe button, go to your wife's phone, hit the subscribe button, do it for the fellas.
Yep.
Subscribe. Please subscribe.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Hit it hard.
All right. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.